We have a 2025 college football playoff bracket to fill out. The seeding is set, the 12 teams are in, and it's time to once again try to pick as many games as I possibly can correctly. But before I get started, I've had a few people ask me, Joe, where you been? Notre Dame's not in the playoff. Are you butthurt about it? Blah, blah, blah. I'll say this about Notre Dame not being in the playoff. Ultimately, you have to win those two games that they lost. If you beat Miami and you beat Texas A&M, we're not having a discussion. 2, Notre Dame's athletic director just needs to stop talking. Quit going up on podiums and saying how wronged you feel and this and that and blah, blah. You look like a whiny pussy, okay? It's not again, win the games, and if it bothers you that much, go join a conference in football. Like it's that simple. There really isn't anything to unpack heavily here. Win football games, join a conference if it bothers you so bad. Stop fucking talking about it because you look like a pussy. But we've got 12 teams. The playoffs are happening starting on Friday. Regardless of how Notre Dame fans feel or how Vanderbilt fans feel or how Texas fans feel, we've got playoff games to watch. A champion will be crowned, and we're going to try and pick as many games correctly as possible on the way there. All right. Before I do that, this is my first Christmas ales of the season, so cheers to everybody. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. I hope you enjoy the time with your loved ones, you and yours, and if the holidays are a tough time for you, I hope you are able to find whatever relaxing peace you can. Or I should have said that a little differently. I hope you are able to find whatever peace. I hope you are able. Wow, this is a tough thing to say. I hope you are able to find some peace, whatever that may be. Wow, very hard to get there, but we got there. Cheers, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, everybody. And it's time to pick some football games. All right. I was going to go chronologically, but we'll just start at the top where the bracket is. Starting off, and I'll say this before I get started. I think most of this is going to be pretty chalk. I think it's going to be pretty chalky. I don't think there's really going to be any upsets. If we're really talking about are these the 12 best teams in college football? No, they're not. I don't think Tulane should be there. I don't think James Madison should be there. Personally, if you've been watching the games, I don't think Alabama should be there. But I digress. It's got to get the conference championship games, the regular season scheduling. It's all just starting to really not mean anything. And they need to figure out how to fix that so that it continues to mean something. But that's another conversation for another day. I'll get into that when I decide I want to get into it because like I always say, the best part about this being my channel and my show is that I get to decide what I want to talk about and what I don't want to talk about. So, let's start with James Madison going on the road to Autzen Stadium playing the Oregon Ducks, the 12 seed JMU Dukes, the number 5 seed Oregon Ducks. This is where the chalk gets started. I think Oregon wins by, I think it's going to be like 70-3. I'm being generous giving JMU 3 points. I think Oregon fucking smokes them. If this sounds like disrespect to James Madison, it's really not. I'm really trying not to be disrespectful. But you're not ready for what's going to occur in Autzen Stadium when you get there. So I got Oregon moving on to play Texas Tech in the Orange Bowl. Next one, Alabama at Oklahoma. The Crimson Tide going to Norman, playing a team they've already lost to. I think, again, if you've been paying attention, Alabama has looked like dog shit as the season has ended. Georgia had their way with them. The right side, offense's left side of their defensive line is horrible. Georgia exposed it quite frequently in the SEC championship game. So give me Oklahoma. I think this one will be close. I don't think it'll be a blowout. But don't be surprised if the Sooners, you look up and the Sooners are up by 17. So I got Oklahoma moving on to play Indiana in the Rose Bowl. Next first round is a rematch, another rematch of two teams that have played each other already this season. Tulane at Ole Miss. Ole Miss beat Tulane 45-10 back in September. And I don't think, even though Lane Kiffin, head coach of the Ole Miss Rebels, left to go coach the LSU Tigers, I don't think that's going to matter in this matchup. I think Ole Miss once again wins by a similar score, if not more. I think that football team's going to come out charged up because of what's happened to them in the past weeks, and they want to prove to people that just because Lane Kiffin isn't the head coach anymore, they can still get down on the football field. There's a reason why they went 11-1. And then we've got Miami on the road in Texas A&M. This is really the only toss-up. This is really the only coin flip over the weekend for me. I could see either one of these teams coming out with a victory. The atmosphere in College Station is going to be insane. But I think Miami is going to be fired up, and I think they're going to try to prove everybody that says they don't belong there wrong, and they are your only team to go on the road and walk out with a W, moving on to the next round. A rematch of the 2002-2003 national championship game between the Hurricanes and Ohio State in the Cotton Bowl in the next round. Back up to the top, you have the Orange Bowl. Oregon at Texas Tech, not at Texas Tech, but in the Orange Bowl. Give me the team that I said should be your dark horse national champion back in August. Give me the Texas Tech Red Raiders to win, I'm going to say, an easy, low-scoring game in this one. But Texas Tech marches out of there and goes on to the Final Four in the Peach Bowl. And in the Rose Bowl, Oklahoma and Indiana, with Heisman Trophy winner quarterback Fernando Mendoza for the Indiana Hoosiers. Indiana's defense handled Ohio State. And maybe it's because Julian Sayin finally played a team. And I shouldn't just say Julian Sayin, I should say the whole Ohio State Buckeye team. But I just can't see Oklahoma getting this one. I know when I turn this game on and I see Pasadena and I see the Big Ten team go out there in the Indiana Hoosiers, I'm going to be like, why did I pick Oklahoma? So give me the Hoosiers to continue this magical season they're on, to move on to the Peach Bowl, to play the Texas Tech Red Raiders. And we move on to the other quarterfinal, Ole Miss and Georgia. As much as I think Ole Miss will have juice, Georgia is just a wagon right now. They've really figured it out, and I think they beat Ole Miss and move on to the Fiesta Bowl. And the Cotton Bowl between Miami and Ohio State, I think the Buckeyes, off some rest, will do what they did in the most of the regular season, and that's tear up the competition. They should beat Miami and move on to the Fiesta Bowl. Now our Final Four, we have Texas Tech and Indiana in the Peach Bowl. Give me Texas Tech. That defense for the Red Raiders is absolutely insane. There are dogs everywhere. And the only loss that Texas Tech has this season is without their starting quarterback. And I think it's going to be too much for Indiana, and the magic runs out in Atlanta in the Peach Bowl. And then the other semifinal game, Georgia and Ohio State in the Fiesta Bowl. If you would have asked me to fill this out before I watched any conference championship game, I would have easily put Ohio State onto the championship. But because of how Julian Sayin looked against a really good defense against Indiana, I think Georgia is hide and tail way, way, way better than Indiana when it comes to the defensive side of the football. Give me the Georgia Bulldogs to move on. And I would say this game either ends at the buzzer or goes to overtime, Georgia and Ohio State. It's going to be one of those all-time classics. I could see the Peach Bowl, Texas Tech and Indiana, being an all-time classic as well. But give me Georgia to win in a probably the toughest game you will see when it comes to the physicality of the football game. Give me Georgia to move on to the national championship in Miami, where you would have Texas Tech and Georgia. Now, honestly, I had no idea how I had no idea how the bracket was going to shape out when I filled it out. I had a little bit of thoughts on the first round, but now as I see it, I don't know. This is gonna be two squads throwing punches. I think it just comes down to who do I trust at quarterback, either Gunnar Stockton or his name is escaping me at the moment for Texas Tech. Man, I you know what? I'm gonna go Texas Tech. I'm gonna ride the dark horse, go with the Red Raiders. The Big 12 gets a title. Texas Tech is my national champion. And there you have it. A lot quicker than the college basketball one, which, if you haven't been paying attention to college basketball, guess what? Football season is dwindling down, and you are in luck because I've been getting tapped in again. Not like how it gets in March or even February, but I'm rolling, figuring out who's who, what's what, and I'll give you a preview. We're starting to get into the cold season. Excuse me. Starting to get into not much to do. I can't go golfing. The Guardians aren't playing, so I'm not going to have much to do but talk about college hoops after I watch them. So we'll be getting back into that. And shout out Homage for all the dope gear. If anybody from the company is listening and wants free promo, I wear a size large in everything, and that goes for anybody. GVR, CLE Clothing Co. If you guys are trying to get rid of something and want to promote your company, I wear a size large. That's all I got. I hope you guys enjoy watching the football. Oh, one more thing. I figured out what I need to get the video game streams going. Oh, yeah. Those are coming too. Those are coming too. We might start with a little NCAA, get a head coach going. Connor Cush might come and start from the bottom and work his way to the National Football League, starting off probably at Kent State. So be on the lookout for those. I can't wait to get those up and running. But enjoy the football. Enjoy your holiday. I will see you guys to preview the quarterfinals of the college football playoff, unless the Browns fire Kevin Stefanski and I have another emergency episode. But until then, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, go football, baby.